Yo, what up? I'm Rich, and I'm gonna teach you how to be humble today. Because obviously I'm the most qualified person in the room. So a lot of people come up to me and they're like, Rich, how did your mom give you that name before she knew you were gonna be rich? It's easy. She knew she was having me, so how could it not be rich? I mean, come on. And then they say that's a really good point, but I always have good points. So then it proceeds to them asking me, how do I stay so humble? And I'm really getting sick and tired of having to explain it over and over. So I'm just gonna upload it on the internets and I won't have to fucking waste my breath anymore. On any given day, one of the most important things to remember is that you ain't shit. You ain't shit. There's always gonna be someone that does something better than you. This doesn't apply to me, but it totally applies to you. I mean, if it didn't, you'd be making this show and not me. So there you go. So just knowing that there's people out there that are better than you are at everything kind of knocks you down a little. And you're like, oh shit, well, am I worthless? No, you're not. You're not worthless because you're always gonna be better at something than somebody else. You can see it walking down the street. You're walking down the street, some bozo trips. Ah! I'm fucking better than you at walking, Holmes. You go into a restaurant, somebody takes a bite and dribbles it all over themselves. They're like fucking babies. You have mastered the fork. So the best place to live is right in that middle nook. It's like you're in the little crack of the butt cheeks. That's the sweet spot. You don't want to be, too down on yourself, and you don't want to be too uppity, right? Otherwise you look like an asshole and you wear your own shirts on shows and shit. The next thing you have to remember is think about what the fuck you are. You are a sack of meat and guts living on a rock hurling through space. You think you're all safe and shit? You drive your little fucking car and you have your fucking car insurance, and then you go to the doctor because you don't want to fucking die of any random disease that's crawling around on the floor of this rock with us. You don't want to go into sketchy ass neighborhoods because you might get capped or something. But at any minute, the rock could fucking slam into something and everything's obsolete. Nothing matters. So you think you're all fucking safe, but you're really in a hurling death trap at every moment. And you can't even see where we're going. You have no idea. Because guess what? We don't even know where the fuck we are. So, I mean, anytime you think you're hot shit, just remember that. Except I invented a special telescope so I know where we're going. But I'm not gonna tell you because it's shocking. It's a big butt crack. We're headed right in. Another surefire way to stay humble is to be generous. You're rich, you're good looking, you're smart. Give us something little to the stinky, ugly people that can't even get themselves out of bed in the morning, all right? I just did this morning. I went through the Starbucks drive-thru, and when I paid with my phone, that's a cool app, by the way. I paid with my phone, and then the receipt comes up, and you're like, do you want to give a tip? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I am gonna give a tip to that little barista in there. And I hit the 50-cent mark. 50 cents? I changed that girl's life with the touch of a button. I didn't have to put myself out there a lot, and she probably went to college on that money. I mean, I gave that girl a future. Or you could really ramp it up and you could pay for the person's coffee behind you, okay? This is gonna be really expensive though. This is gonna be like $3 to $4 depending on how many espresso shots they put in. But then you get so much leverage out of it. You go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, you take a picture of it for Instagram. You could write a blog about how generous you were going through the drive-thru and paying for that person, and oh my god, they didn't even know who did it. I did it. I fucking did it, as I document on 10 social networks. And that counts for extra, because if you publicize your good deeds, you can like triple the time because you have documentation. You could refer back to it now. So somebody's like, yeah man, I just went to Starbucks. Have you tried that new flat white? And you'll be like, no, I haven't, but you know what? I bought one for the person behind me. Did you see that? I took a picture of it. Look, I kind of got their smile. And you know what else you could do? Because with the phones, you could keep the picture in the camera and then you could repost it later. So like when you do a good deed, maybe take pictures from different angles and like with different lighting or filters on it, because then it'll look like it's a different day. So you will get fucking thousands of hours of mileage out of one little thing. And you're probably changing the world of that person, like I did with the barista. I don't know how I keep doing this everywhere I go. I touch lives. I touch lives and I touch butts. So don't stand in front of me in line, okay? And the next surefire way to be humble is to always accept just slightly less than what's offered to you. For example, I just went to the dentist last week and he told me, yo, Rich, I'm gonna have to give you a crown. And I was like, no, man, don't go through all that trouble. Just give me a tiara instead. Or it's like when you go to someone's house and they're like, hey, can I get you some coffee? And you're like, yes. When you're really thinking, oh shit, this is probably gonna be the shittiest cup of coffee that I've ever drank because I don't think this fucker knows how to make real coffee. So you try the coffee and you're fucking right. So you drink about a third of it and go, oh man, now you make a cup of coffee. I don't even think I can drink anymore, man. Cause you're not saying it tastes like shit and you're making it seem like it's so fucking good you can't drink any more of it. But by the way, if you were drinking anything out of a mug like this, it would taste like the golden wings of an angel if you wanted to eat wings and angels were edible. If not, maybe maple syrup direct from Canada because that's good shit. I mean, I can sit here and tell you how to be humble all day long, but I think you'll learn more just from learning from my behavior. I mean, it oozes out of me. It's like I can't help it. And you're gonna want more tips from me, so just hit subscribe, go to beckyourself.com and fucking beck yourself because you could do this, you could fucking, I can't even hold it, you could do this, and lots of other shit. And you know what? Why am I doing all the talking in this relationship? Why don't you go in the comment section and give me some more tips for being humble? You are smart. You have good ideas. Why aren't you on this show? Maybe you could be on this show. Probably not, because I don't really fucking know you like that. But Cosby could slip something in my drink and it could happen. Now that's some smooth shit.
You know how I do.